Whatever feels normal to you is exactly what you will keep manifesting, whether it's abundance or lack. That's why it feels so hard to manifest something brand new. Your nervous system doesn't believe it's safe or possible yet. So until you retrain your subconscious, you will keep repeating old money patterns. Likely your pattern is you get in this more abundant state and you get all like gung-ho and this is happening and you're thinking positive thoughts about it, but it ends and then you flip-flop in and out of the abundance zone. That's not going to be avoidable. We're doing the best we can as humans here in this crazy world. You have to do things daily to intentionally get yourself back into the abundance zone as often as possible because the payoff for it is absolutely worth it. Did you know that 95% of your thoughts are subconscious repeats from yesterday? Which means if your old programming is running the show, no amount of vision boards or positive thinking is going to change your reality. That's why in this episode, I'm unveiling 2 manifestation techniques that have never failed me. The exact tools I've used to normalize wealth, collapse timelines, and actively manifest everything from my multi-6-figure months to my dream lifestyle to the millions in the bank to my beach house and everything in between. If you've ever felt like manifestation only works sometimes, this will flip the switch for you. What up, my people, my posse, my fellow crazies? It's your host, Tiffany Carter, and this is the show that is going to help you grow your business, your bank account, that big, beautiful brain of yours, your abundance, your relationships, and everything in between. I should probably give a disclaimer for this episode that I did take a quarter of a gummy, but it's like an activating gummy. So I'm just warning you. And I did it like right before I came on here. So if it kicks in, I will be probably pretty obvious about it. My guess is that it won't, but stay tuned. Stay tuned to see what happens. I want you to hear this stat. Research from the National Science Foundation shows that an average person has 12,000 to 60,000 thoughts per day, and 95% of them are repetitive. Hence why we are unwell and insane. And if you are a fellow crazy, which you are because you listen to me, and you're an overthinker, overanalyzer, I guarantee if someone analyzed our brains, we have 100,000 thoughts. We might even have 150,000. And then think of that. We have an additional situation going on with our minds because the 95% of all of those thoughts, double the average, are repetitive. And here's this one really shooketh me. 80% of those repetitive thoughts are negative. You know, that natural state of where our minds go as human beings. You don't even have to be like a trauma survivor or someone who's a pessimist. It's natural for us to think more negative because that is how we also protect ourselves. And it certainly doesn't help us with like the ways of the world and the assholes of the world and the stress and the drama and all the other stuff going on top of the fact that it's naturally like that. I find that so interesting. Like, why can't we be naturally wired to think 80% of our thoughts are positive? I mean, really, this is insane to me. So here's what this means for manifestation. If your subconscious programming is running 95% of the show, then whatever feels normal to you is exactly what you will keep manifesting, whether it's abundance or lack. That's why it feels so hard to manifest something brand new. Your nervous system doesn't believe it's safe or possible yet. So until you retrain your subconscious through using my normalization and active manifesting techniques that I'm teaching you today, you will keep repeating old money patterns no matter how many affirmations, how many things you do. Like, likely your pattern is you get in this more abundant state and you get all like gung-ho and this is happening and you're thinking positive thoughts about it and you are trusting in the universe and you're trusting in God and you're trusting in spirit and you're feeling all good. And I don't know how many days you can hold on to that, but it ends in a week. And then you flip-flop in and out of the abundance zone. That's not going to be avoidable. Okay. Like, we're doing the best we can as humans here in this crazy world. You're going to flip-flop, but you have to do things daily to intentionally get yourself back into the abundance zone or keep yourself yourself in it as often as possible because the payoff for it is absolutely worth it. And then just thinking that you can just casually go through life and not like stack habits and micro habits and have morning routines and rituals and things that you do to help combat the 80% of these negative thoughts. You do nothing. You can see how uncute the results are. And we do not want that. The stat is the perfect setup for this episode because it proves why the average person struggles with manifestation. And then if you're struggling with manifestation or things are taking a long time to come in, then that becomes a negative thought loop. Well, manifestation doesn't work for me. Maybe this stuff is all like bullshit hocus pocus and I don't believe in it. Or maybe there's something wrong with me, or I'm doing it wrong, or it's not meant for me. And then now those become compounded thoughts to go off in oblivion. Yes, I'm very familiar with your brain. The first is my normalization technique, which collapses resistance and makes your next level feel like it's your new baseline. And then we'll get into the second one of active manifesting. So before I jump into this, we need to have a discussion about something. I have to make sure you do not miss this. My mega bonus birthday sale for my crazy Virgo ass. I have done something I've never done before, and it truly is a one-time only offer. It's insane what I've done. It's ending in just days, and when you join my famous ProjectME Posse business coaching membership, you're locking in a one-time only bonus that is literally valued at $13,000. That's the minimum I am paid to teach this stuff, where you're getting my six-figure holiday launch live course plus planner plus my done for you calendar all for free. Like, I am going to take this and then sell it as a self-paced course afterwards, but you get it for free by joining the Posse along with everything else you get in the Posse, which you're getting my experiences, my live trainings, my masterclasses, my other courses that are in there. There's over 400 that are beautifully and simply categorized for you to find weekly live trainings with me and other special guest experts. Plus, you get to be with somewhere with your fellow crazies. I mean, we have people from all over the world in there. I keep it at an intimate size so that in integrity, I can refer to it as a true group coaching model. And there is nothing else like it. You know why? Because no one wants to do the level of work and access that I give you in a membership. They don't like that. They'd rather you pay $7 a month, give you a bunch of shit, and you forget about it on your credit card bill. And that's just not how I roll. The entrepreneurs who plan and position themselves now are the ones who are going to dominate sales during the holiday season, which is literally around the corner. This bonus gives you the exact system my clients use and what I use to generate consistent six-figure plus launches without burning yourself out. So this is not something I'll ever be offering again in the Posse. So once this bonus window closes, it is gone. So if you're serious about finishing this year with a cash surge, honey, this is your move. Go to projectmewithtiffany.com/birthday sale, or you can swipe up and access the link right inside the show notes or in the description here on YouTube on Project Me TV. Okay, so let's get into this normalization technique so that you can apply this to anything in your life. And let me start out by sharing why this works. If we do not normalize what it is you're wanting to call in at your next level, your nervous system is going to read it as risky, as scary, as suspicious, as something to watch out for, as something to be careful of. So naturally, there's going to be a resistance. Picture yourself like walking through like a dark cave, or if you're hiking and you see a path, but it's like not a path that has like a bunch of signs on it. And it's like you kind of trust the path, but you don't fully trust it. And you might only go so far on that path because of it. You might not even enter that cave because you don't know what to expect. And then because your brain, 80% of the thoughts are negative and 95% are repetitive, you have this brain working against you saying, danger, danger. What if this? What if it doesn't work? What if I waste my money? It doesn't happen. What if I join Tiffany's Posse membership and like it's a waste of time? And, you know, oh, I just don't like follow through and I don't show up because I've not showed up before. And like, what if I can't really do this thing? Like, yes, I've gotten to a certain point, but I haven't gotten further, or I haven't even started yet and I'm so behind and it's so saturated. And your brain comes up with all of these thoughts, and then the thoughts lead to behaviors of avoidance, of procrastination, of not taking action for yourself, of self-abandonment, self-doubt. And then it creates the results. It manifests it. So normalizing it is imperative. How I've gone to from $17,000 a year to then $17,000 a month, to then $17,000 a week, to then $17,000 a day is all using these two techniques. So the first order of business is really going why this absolutely is possible for you. And you need to create a list, and you are going to have to write it down because then you'll forget it. And it's something you need to see regularly. And it can be in your notes app too. You don't have to use a pen, even though there is scientific proof that that is better, pen to paper, but I would rather you do it than have resistance to doing it. And write down, why is this actually possible for me? You've got to sell yourself on it. In fact, you have to gaslight yourself on it. Okay. You gaslight yourself enough for other things. I need you to gaslight yourself in your damn favor. I need you to really convince yourself, and not in a way where you're forcing it to where you don't really believe it. It's got to be where you truly are like, no, I get it. I know that this is actually possible for me now. So I just want to give you a couple things just to get started. So what I said to myself, 17,000 a year, to even 17,000 a month, that's insane. That's like a huge jump. So I didn't really go to that. I went to 17,000 a year to I think it was 48,000 to 56 to 72. It was more like that, but 17,000 a year to 17,000 a month to a week to a day sounds much more sexy, but that's not really what it was. So I want to make sure I paint that picture. But I really had my first sights on that, I wanted that $10,000 a month, right? Which I know a lot of you have wanted that. And some of you are far beyond that, which is fine. So why is that normal for you? And you can do it I did it with my health glow up, which I'm going to do a whole separate episode on because it seems like you guys want it, where how I've had this as a year in the making and how I used manifestation to help me with this. I had to normalize. Just to give you a non-money manifesting example, I had to normalize and believe it was possible for me to feel how I wanted to feel and look how I wanted to look. Otherwise, if I didn't buy into it, I certainly wasn't going to take any effort or do any active manifesting. And if I don't believe it's safe for me to feel how I want to feel and look how I want to look or make what I want to make, it certainly isn't happening. So I want you to then also list out, why is it safe, right? I need you to make some statements. It is safe for me to bring in $10,000 a month. And I need you to sit with that and notice what comes up in your body. It is safe for me to have $1 million launches. It's safe for me to have 6-figure launches. I had to work through that because there's some money stuff there of, oh my God, is that really possible? And then if I believe that that's possible, and then what if I believe it's possible and then I really, really want it and I get attached to wanting it and then it doesn't happen, I'm going to be so disappointed. And I understand it's possible for other people, but is it really possible for me? And then other beliefs of, well, I'm going to have to, sacrifice a lot to do that, or I'm going to be so exhausted. I'm going to get burnt out. I'm going to lose my free time. So all your shit's going to come up is my point, which it needs to come up to the surface so that we can clean it out. That gunk needs to rise. Otherwise it's going to remain stuck in your body and stuck in your nervous system, which is why things aren't coming to you as fast as they could be coming to you. We are the common denominator. I hate to break it to you. It's not the economy. It's not the algorithm. It's not that the market is saturated. It's not that creatives don't get paid enough. That's all shit. None of that is the case. I'm not saying there aren't certain facts that go on in life, but there's plenty of other evidence that proves that there's more than enough out there. It's just that your brain has gotten on that other loop. So when I said that about my body, it is safe for me to feel how I want to feel and to shed this excess fat and inflammation. That fat was keeping me protected. That inflammation was protecting me. I didn't feel safe. So that did not start going away, even though my ass, after I did my whole gut and hormone thing, then I went to do the microdose of the GLP, Ozempic, tirzepatide, that stuff. And that wouldn't have worked. It would not have worked if I was sitting here holding on on for dear life, feeling unsafe. It would not have done it. It would have created even more inflammation in my body. I mean, there's plenty of people that have done that shot that it's not working for. Some of my clients are people like that, where it did not work for them, or their self-sabotaging behaviors around food and activity. The shot can't counteract that, right? So same principle when it comes to growing your business, growing your bank account, or if it's you're wanting to attract a relationship, safe to attract the relationship that you want, a securely attached relationship, a loving relationship, or even like I want to bring in more like female friendships in my life that are genuine, that are beautiful. It's a reciprocal relationship. You have to make the list of believing it's possible for you and really buy into it, where you're going, yeah, hell yeah, of course it's possible for me. This is happening. So you have to get to that point. You're going to have to remind yourself a lot and go through of saying it and writing it. It's safe for me to have really close, beautiful, trusting female friendships. And then see in your body where you start feeling some stuff. Like even when I just said that now, I even got like a twinge, and I've done work around this, like in my heart center. I'm rubbing my chest here on YouTube at ProjectME TV. If you don't watch on YouTube, I'm telling you, you should just subscribe to see what's going on here. I mean, sometimes it's very interesting. I just got to tell you, you never know what I'm wearing, where I'm going to be at, and what's happening. So I felt that in like my chest. I felt a ping there, and I'm like, okay, what's going on with that? What's not feeling safe to you? And what comes up right away is I'm scared. I'm scared I'm going to pick wrong. I can do this quickly because I've been doing this technique for years. Okay. So it might take a little more time for that stuff to come up for you. But like I might pick wrong. I've picked wrong before. Well, we'll be okay even if you pick wrong, because you've picked wrong enough times that you recognize it so much faster so that you can detach from this person who doesn't feel good. So you're going to be okay. This isn't that. This isn't then. You've done so much work and so much growth since then. So I'm going to make sure you're safe. So you have to reassure yourself, your inner child, your inner teenager. It's safe for us to be this abundant now. It's safe for us to have these close friendships. It's safe for us to have this level of intimacy in a relationship. It is safe for me to feel like my most attractive, vibrant self. And if you're familiar with my story, I'm a severe sexual abuse trauma survivor, and it is very common for trauma survivors to have excess inflammation and weight on them. And it goes back to, it's not safe for me to be fully seen in this world. It isn't safe for me to be like too attractive, because that could be dangerous. It's not even safe for me to be small. Not that you have to be small, but I think you get what I'm saying. Like smaller in size, because, that'd be harder to fight people off. And this is how deep stuff goes, not just with body stuff, not just with relationship stuff. This is how deep it goes with money, bringing in clients, even how you bring in clients, which is why I am giving that live course for the new Posse members. I'm not even making you join the annual membership, although you should. You can join the month-to-month membership for my commitment folks, okay? And you're going to be able to learn my exact six-figure launch system, because a lot of you will trade your time for money, and you have private clients, or you are doing things where a lot of your time is and brain power and energy is needed in order to get money. And that's familiar to you. Therefore, that's safe to you. Therefore, that's normalized to you because you're doing it and you have proof around it and you've gotten results around it and you kind of have, know what to expect around it. But then when it comes to scaling your stuff, which hint, hint, October 1st and 2nd, okay, we've got an insane live event planned for my launch. So I'm just saying, I'm giving you a little hinty hint here. It's involving scaling your sales, not just you doing some trickle sales here, a little group here where there's no like reoccurring pattern where it's predictable and dependable income. But a lot of this comes from the stuff I'm talking about now. So some of you listening, and some of you are my clients, and some of you are in the Posse, and some of you have been in my other programs and you know who you are. You need to do the normalization technique around around I'm selling out group programs. I have a membership that sells. People are buying my self-paced courses, my workbooks, my things to where you can make more and work less. There's something about that either you don't believe it's possible for you right now or you don't believe it's safe or both. And so doing that exercise, and it can be that quick, that I gave you is going to normalize it for you. It's happening. It's here. So what else can you do to operate and remind your brain and body that this is normal? I want you to talk like it's happening, right? Like it's happening, but I also want you to embody that it's happening. Like, oh yeah, like without a doubt it's happening. It's happening in the perfect timing. Well, how would you carry yourself knowing that what you're wanting is coming in and you're truly detached and surrendered? Right? You're not like trying to like squeeze it and control or obsess over it. How are you thinking, behaving, and acting if you know that absolutely I'm going to be able to sell a bunch of my courses and have reoccurring revenue? I'm going to be able to have incredible, loving, genuine friendships. I'm going to be able to like feel really good and energized in my body. I'm going to be able to make, that money. I'm going to be able to buy this house. How is that going to feel? And how would you operate out of that feeling? My guess is you might, stand up a little taller. You might end up being, a little more positive. You might feel lighter in your body. You might actually like invest more time, energy, and money towards these goals, which we're about to get into the act of manifesting. Because when you know something is without a doubt happening, like it's normal, so it's going to happen, like why couldn't it happen? It's totally possible for me, and you've done all this. Well, then it doesn't feel so risky. It doesn't feel as scary. It'll still feel scary, but it doesn't feel as scary, as daunting, as heavy to take the actions in order to help manifest the thing that you want because you're loosey goosey about it. You'll go out on the dates, or maybe you won't. Maybe you'll just like put yourself out there in a different way. And maybe you don't even put yourself out there in a different way. Maybe it's just that when you carry out conversations with strangers wherever you go, you're just more light about it. There's not a needy energy about you. There's not a desperado energy about you. Like how would I feel knowing, and how would I behave knowing that like my inflammation is going in my body, my gut is healing, my hormones are being restored to a perfect homeostasis, that I have excess fat that is dropping off me, where I'm loving how I look in clothes. It's fun to wear clothes again. I love how I look naked. Like I am snatched, honey. How would I operate knowing it's happening? It made me trust the process. It also made me hire a naturopath to work with me privately, which was tens and tens of thousands of dollars, because I wanted to hire the best, because I wanted the best results and I wanted to get there the fastest, but in like a safe way where it's going to be sustainable. Well, I didn't have a problem taking these active manifesting steps because I truly believed it was possible for me, but there was a long time where I didn't. And I stayed in that spot, and then I stayed in the gunk, and I stayed stuck, and literally nothing changed. In fact, only things got worse. And the same exact thing is the case for money. You'll launch another thing. You'll put out another product. You'll put out more content. You'll try this thing. You'll try that thing. And you pretty much end up at the same ceiling or with the same results or the same number of people buying your stuff. And then it kind of demotivates you and like makes you not want to keep showing up. So that's why if you don't do this technique, which you've not been doing it because you've not been taught it before, why what's been not happening has been not happening. And now we can flip that switch. So what goes with this, it's like the sister technique to it, is the active manifesting. You hear me talk about like passive manifesting is important, but you just doing passive manifesting is you staying in entitlement land. It's like when people go, I'm going to sit back and I'm going to win the lotto. Passive manifesting. Okay. I want to meet the woman of my dreams, the man of my dreams, this wonderful person, and this and that and the other. but you don't embody fully the qualities you're wanting from this other person, physical and emotional. You're wanting someone to be a certain type of way, and you have work to do on yourself that you're not doing, that you're not prioritizing. Some of you are like, oh shit, I'm really called out, right? Like you want someone whose words and actions match. You want someone who feels safe, dependable, reliable, trustworthy. Are you? Do you break your own trust? Like looking at, let's use the money thing. Okay, so I want to have my normal's $1 million launches or more. Okay, that's normal. 7-figure launches, normal for me. That's my current thing working on. And I've had 7-figure launches, but it's not been consistent with all the things. So 7-figure launches are normal for me. Okay, so what do I need to do to help actively manifest that passively, right? Like we've talked about, even the normalization technique, a lot of it is passive manifesting. You passive manifest when you go on your abundance walks, if you take abundance baths, abundance showers, you do all the things that, I provide you. You read the books, you have the crystals and the chakras, you pray, whatever your thing is, beautiful. But like, if you just stayed there, that would be like you going to church, you reading the Bible, but operating like a menace to society in your normal life. And we know there's a lot of that shit that exists. Okay. There's people who, it would be like me wanting that. I feel like the gummies kicked in. I actually like set a time on the clock that I can see in the corner of my laptop. And I was like, we really should be done by this time, because that's when I think the gummy could kick in. And I'm running over because you know me, I go off on tangents and I'm like, oh shit, I think it's kicked in. All right, we're gonna have to wrap this up. Also, like, it's almost dark outside, and I'm making like weird shadow puppets with like my bun, and it's not working for me. Oh my god, the gummy really has kicked in. Well, you get me unfiltered, and I'm already unfiltered. So the body stuff, okay, did the normalization technique, but if I did all of that, yet I didn't hire the naturopath, I didn't do this whole horrible, by the way, gut healing protocol, horrible but effective, and I didn't stick with it, and I didn't follow, I cut corners with it, I didn't do all the hormone stuff and get the labs and all that. And if you're in the US, it's a pain in the ass to do it here, which is bullshit, and I'm sure it is in other countries too, which is also bullshit. And I didn't have to take the GLP, but I made a choice to invest in taking the GLP. If I didn't change any of my diet, if I didn't was willing to be humble and start Pilates and feel like an idiot, right? Like, if I didn't take any of those actions, do you think I would have had the results just from me doing passive manifesting? Maybe I would have lost some inflammation. I don't know. Maybe I would have lost some fat, but probably not, because I've been trying quite a few things for, I would say, 2 years, and it only kept getting worse and worse and worse. So how many times are you going to keep trying to figure it out in your business, with your money, in relationships, in whatever you're wanting to call into your life, before you go, oh, I need to really be honest with myself. Where am I actively manifesting? Am I really operating? Am I taking actions out of a space of knowing that what I am wanting to manifest is absolutely possible for me? In fact, it's absolutely happening in divine timing, and I know it is, and I'm showing up in the knowing in actions, not just in thoughts, but in actions. You just doing it in thoughts, you just passively manifesting, is you toe dipping on your life. Okay. And we're not going to do that. You actively manifesting, I just gave some examples. You joining my famous ProjectME Posse business coaching membership. First of all, it's $3.33 a day, people. No one offers anything like this. Plus, you are getting my insane bonus, which is my 6-figure holiday launch live course, plus planner and done for you sales calendar. This isn't some cheesy PDF. Okay. I've paid someone a substantial amount of money to make it look pretty, and literally the exact planner and the done for you calendar of when to start talking about your thing, how long for the cart to be open, all of that shit. We're covering everything in the launch live course, like pricing, how to do this, all the shit that you get stuck on. And when you're watching other people and you're like, how did this bitch, who's like, honestly, no offense, like not that interesting, how did she, do all that? Is she lying or did she really make all of that? Like, how are these people doing it? And I see, there's people who are selling stuff like hotcakes on TikTok shop. They just are selling stuff out constantly left and right. Like, this holiday launch live course will also teach you, even if you're in like network marketing, affiliate marketing, you sell products, obviously services, this works for any single industry. Okay. And I work with over 87 different industries. I even have a long time tire client with my other business. I've had 17 years and it works with everything. It just needs to be, personalized and customized, which is how I've designed the live course, the planner, and the calendar. So that's active manifesting. You want to have six-figure launches. You want to feel really good and know what you're putting out there and it feel fun and it feel simple and it feel clear and your ideal clients are eager and excited to buy from you and they're so excited that they get this help from you and they see how generous you are and it's so appreciated and so received and you continue growing and you have dependable, consistent, reoccurring income, sharing your gifts, skills, passions, and talents with the world. You can't just talk about it and think about it and pray about it, honey. You have got to actively take action. And I'm giving you one right now that's $3.33 a day. I'm laughing because you do the annual option. Now you're really sending a message to the universe. I'm committed. I'm not just saying, oh, my manifestations are like on a contingency month to month plan. My manifestations are like, we'll see what happens. Like if I put out this post or I post this much this week or I talk about my offer or my service, a few times or I go live and like no one showed up. Well, now you have put your life, your dreams, your manifestations on a contingency plan. And that's why it's not working for you. Like literally, that's why it's not working. Stop it. That's insane. You're not thinking clearly. And I used to do this shit too. Okay. I'm like yelling at you because it's like I'm yelling at the old me as I'm watching myself in the screen. It's like, God, if I could just like take that top bun of mine, that Tiffany who was like going to the clubs and eating a Nacho Bel Grande at 2 a.m. and then rolling into kickboxing with sunglasses on and wondering why she's getting a toxic relationship after toxic relationship, I'd be like, bitch, you're the common denominator. You are not operating and taking actions and living in a manner of what it is you want to attract. So you want to be rich, you want to make money, you better think rich, you better act rich. You want to get snatched, you better think snatched and look snatched. You want to have some really beautiful and attract like close, genuine relationships in your life, you better create that with yourself. You want to have the love of your life and someone who feels so amazing and nurturing and trusting, you have to feel that way about yourself first. Isn't that fun? And yes, that's how it works. So you can go to projectmewithtiffany.com/birthday sale, or you can swipe up show notes. There's the link in there for all my resources that I've been talking about. And you can go in the description on YouTube at ProjectME TV. But this ends. This isn't like, oh, Tiffany is going to just keep running this into oblivion. No, this is going to end in just a few days. Okay. Number one. Number two, it will close if the posse membership is full because we keep it at an intimate size. So if you go to the page and it says membership is full, like there's nothing, you can't do it. It's not happening. You have to wait until like someone leaves the posse, and people stay for a long time in here because the shit works and we're crazy and we make it fun, because the more fun we have, the more money we make. And you've been listening to the show. You've heard me say that. I said that and I started saying that out loud to remind myself and have myself really believe it and normalize it, that the more fun I have, the more money I make. But that wouldn't have been enough. I had to take action on it. I had to believe it. What actions would I take knowing that me going to my next level, me having $1 million launches, is me having more fun? Well, then I would do things that are more fun. How can I bring more fun in my business? I would welcome in more fun. I would do more fun activities. So you putting your money where your mouth is, so to speak, that like famous saying, that actually goes with manifestation. But it's not just about you like spending money on the thing. It's about you, right? Are you posting every day? Are you? Or are you fucking around? Do you have an email list? What's your energy? How are you showing up? Are you going live? Are you experimenting? Are you trying new things? Because learning alone is not enough. Learning alone, a lot of you do that, and it keeps you in the safe zone because it tricks you into believing you're doing something. But all you're doing is learning. And what I always say to you guys about my programs is you've gotten enough information. It's time for implementation. That's active manifesting in any area of your life. So it's implementation time. What do you need to do? What actions do you need to take that are a direct match for what you're wanting to manifest? And look at what do other people do that have this in their current existence in their life, in their current reality? What actions did they take? And if you don't know, ask somebody or research it. And then you have already a map of what they did. And you can hire a lot of people who will take you through it and show them what you did, which is so beautiful. This is how we help one another. But you have to actually follow it and be consistent. What types of behaviors do I need to shift, or habits do I need to shift of mine that aren't really supporting what I'm wanting to manifest? Tiffany's white cheddar popcorn almost every single night while watching TV to decompress, that did not support the snatch up over here. Okay. And that had to go. And then I had to deal with why I was even eating the white cheddar popcorn. Okay. And we'll save that for another episode. My belief and my fear that I have around really normalizing and trusting that $1 million launches are my normal. It's not just sometimes, it's not just a fluke. It's like, I want it so badly. And I have this belief that that's still tickling in there that I need to work on. That something bad by being that abundant, by really making that much money, and because I'm so visible, that people are going to like cast spells and omens on me and shit. Like some drama is going to happen. So I have that to work through on the passive manifesting side. It's also it's CASA. Oh my God. It's CASO. I just combined also and another word. We're wrapping this up. Okay. So that was passive manifesting and active manifesting combined. Me learning about or listening about like my deeper wounds that come up and even ideating on it, that's passive. But like the active part is me really writing on it, me doing something intentional to be able to get myself in the energy of $1 million launches are normal. And what actions would I take? And what actions have other people taken in order to have $1 million launches be normal? Well, you are taking a risk. I mean, and there is actually a great example. He did 100 million, but like the Alex Hormozy guy, he did $100 million launch. So that doesn't mean I can't do a scaled down version of that, of what I'm manifesting. He also put in, I don't want to misquote the amount of money he spent, but he only spent like, I think it was 2.5 or 3.5 million on the launch. And when I say only, when you compare that to making 100, that's pretty good. So I can pare that down for myself. Where am I going all in? I recorded some epic ads that you're going to be seeing that are really fun, because the more fun I have, the more money I make. So I had a lot of fun with them. I have a bigger ad budget because the more people, the more visible that you get in front of the right people with the right message, with the right energy, then that's the whole game of right marketing and sales. And I have brought on a team that is going to be helping me with content and content creation, because I can only create so much on my own. I need to be busy doing other money making activities. So yeah, I am making an investment strategically in taking actions that are going to be a match for my manifestation. Also, how do I carry myself? How do I talk? How am I talking even to my team about this upcoming launch? How am I thinking about it? What type of energy am I putting into it? What is my planning process? I am not procrastinating at all. One thing that I noticed from my $1 million launches I've had is I'm ahead of the game. I'm not causing stress in my nervous system by procrastinating. manifesting stuff, and I go into it so detached. So I'm making sure that I am doing that behavior. So I gave you a lot of examples in different areas of how you can apply the active manifesting, and you can't say you don't know what to do. Okay, you can't say it. And you won't have all the things all at once, but you can go to ChatGPT. You can go to good old Claude. You can go to Google. You can be in the posse. And that's one of the beautiful things. It's so safe in there to be able to express what you're going through, what you're growing through, where you need some help, get feedback. And it is genuine. And what I think is most important to people is like, it's not a posturing environment. Like everyone is real. Everyone is whack. Everyone is a version of you. We've got, neurodivergent in there. We have ADHD. We have complex trauma. We're the land of the misfit toys, of the people with the big hearts and the people wanting to do big, amazing things in the world who we kind of always known that like we think differently. Like, not that we're better than other people, but there's something about us that's different. And there was a time in our lives where that didn't feel good and it made us feel separate then. And once in a while, it still does now. But ultimately, like we know it's a gift, and that gift is meant to be pursued in order to help people, in order to help yourself, in order to help the greater good and have the abundance flowing in. And that's what we do in the posse. So go to projectmewithtiffany.com/birthday sale. Be sure to be watching my Instagram stories because I am going to a very special place for my birthday, and I am committed to bringing you along because I feel that I'm going to be able to share the abundant energy of this special place through social media, through content. I feel that it will transmit through the airwaves, and I am so excited to see what comes up for you guys because I want to make sure that I am giving you giant doses of abundant energy. And for me to do that, I have to actively manifest. I have to normalize that. I don't have to be always like poly positive because we know that ain't happening over here. You can have a bad day. You can be miserable and actively manifest. You can have a whole fear spiral and still flip back and use the normalization technique. So don't start getting yourself in this black or white, all or nothing thinking. I have to be all this way or all that way. That's another tricky thing that your brain has been doing in order to keep you quote unquote safe and quote unquote small, quote unquote unseen. And we're not doing this anymore. Not for the biggest money making season of the year, which has officially begun. The cash bell has rung. It is here, September through December. And then if you're in the health and fitness field, it's September through January, where literally billions of dollars are made weekly. You can't not make money if you are set up and you know what you need to focus on and what you don't need to focus on to get there. It's literally impossible. It's like oh no, I'm not going to do this analogy. Maybe I should just tell you. Let's leave on this note so I can embarrass myself. I almost said it's like throwing a dart at a dartboard that's all bullseyes. I don't think that's good. I don't think that makes sense. I don't know. I don't care. I don't know. It's time to go. I'm signing off. Wishing you great health, wealth, and worth as always. Love you.